everyone and welcome back to my channel. So it's that time of month where I discuss with you guys my monthly reads, and this month in March I've read 6 books. However, those 6 books are all Vampire Diaries, but this is the final Vampire Diaries review one. I promise that, because I have finally finished the series. So the only reason I read 6 books instead of more is because March was super busy for me, and actually some of these books were quite long. Well, they're not like really long, but some of them were quite thick, and considering I've been working a lot, I've had loads going on, my cat's been ill and everything, I've not actually read as much as I would usually, which is why I've only managed to read 6. So, how am I getting on with my monthly read challenge? We are on week 13 and I've only read 23 books. So I am 3 books down to what I should have been doing, because you should be doing, if I was doing 2 books a week, I'm 3 books behind basically, which I think I can recover further up in the year. Like when I go on holiday and that, I read loads of books because I just lay on the beach or lay by the pool and read, so fingers crossed that's when I'll catch up. But let's get these books discussed. Hopefully I won't talk too much. I have again wrote notes because I get muddled up when I read books like TV shows. I do get muddled up with storylines, but I've just got little notes to help me out. So the first one, my towel's fallen. The first one is book 8 in the Vampire Diaries series, and it's called The Hunters, and then there's I think it's Phantom. Oh, I've got itchy nose. So what happens in this one? Everyone thinks, oh yeah, everything's good in that, and then names start to be spelled, and it's really weird. Damon's dead. Damon died, didn't he, in the last book? But yeah, names are being spelled in really weird things, like a scarf, blood, what's the other ones? Blood, weed, and pondweed, and they don't know what's going on, and the name that it spells means that person's in danger, and then something bad happens to that person. A guy called Caleb Smallwood appears. He is Tyler Smallwood's cousin, and he isn't a werewolf, but he knows what happens, and he knows that he knows 2 stories. He knows the story that actually happened throughout all the books, and then he knows about what the Guardians changed in the last book, and he's really confused and he just wants to know what's going on, but they think he's a bit of a creep and they think he is the one causing all this, but it turns out he isn't. Stefan becomes really jealous and really weird, and then everyone else actually starts to act really jealous, and it turns out that the names are the names are all associated to that, and it is a phantom, a jealousy phantom or something. It grows stronger on people's jealousy and it makes everyone more jealous, so if everyone was jealous of each other, everyone was acting weird. Damon is actually alive somehow. The starball that Elena destroyed in the last book was still falling in the sky, and it brought him back to life, and at first he didn't know who he was, and then he gradually knew who he was, and he got back to them, and he wanted to keep the secret until we could solve the phantom, and that's basically it. In the end, they all work together and destroy this jealousy phantom by shouting out their jealousies. So Elaine was jealous of Bonnie, and Bonnie's jealous of everyone else, and Stefan's jealous of Damon, Damon's jealous of Stefan. They just all admitted this jealousy. So that's that book. I gave this one a 3 out of 5 rating because I didn't think it was that good actually. Out of all the Vampire Diaries series, this is one of the more disappointing books, but I didn't really enjoy that one. Okay. Book 9. Again, part of the Hunters bundle, and this one's called Moon Song. They go to college. They all decide, right, everything's sorted, we can go to college, we'll still be close to First Church so we can protect it if need be. I'm going to bring this here instead of having to keep it looking. What happens in the... college kids start disappearing. There's a society, it's called the V Society, Vital Society, Secret Society, or whatever. They ask Matt to join, he joins, then they want Stefan to join for different reasons. He won't join, and Elena and Damon start bonding and getting together a bit. Elena and Stefan break up, and then Damon and Elena don't actually get together, but they get a lot closer to them when they work. Bonnie meets a guy called Xander. Turns out he's a werewolf, which freaks her out because all the werewolves she's ever known are bad, but actually he's a really good guy, and they stay in love. This society, actually, the Vital Society, is actually turning their pledges, so like Matt, into vampires, but they don't actually get as far as turning Matt into a vampire. And their whole plan is the reason they wanted Stefan's because they need Stefan and Damon's blood to bring Klaus back. And what happens at the end? They bring Klaus back. Klaus returns. So that's that one. I get that at 4.5 out of 5 because of the fact that it had quite a bit of Damon and Elena in it. I think that's the main reason why I rated it quite high. Okay, the last one in the Hunters section. My stomach's going to rumble. It's Destiny Rising, Book 10. It turns out Elena is a Earth Guardian. Her parents agreed. Is it this one? You find out that bit? I'm just trying to work out if it's this book. I think it's this book. This book you discover that Elena's mum is a guardian. And that's why she's an Earth Guardian, and that's why the Guardians wanted to take her when she was younger and blah blah blah. She meets another Earth Guardian called Andre, and he like helps her like learn her power a bit. Catherine returns because Klaus brings all of the people that he like was associated with back, so Catherine is who returned. Everyone likes to return from the dead in these books. Elena, one of her like guardian duties, she gets given duties from the Guardians, and her first duty is to kill Damon, because now that Elena has gone back to Stefan, so last book he was thought, oh, yeah, we're going to get together, but then she went back to Stefan. He kind of went off the rails and started to kill people. He only killed like one person, and it was an accident. He was like feeding on people and everything, and the Guardians assigned Elena to kill Damon. It turns out that Elena's blood is like all powerful, which explains why vampires are attracted to her and actually can kill the older vampires. So they use her blood to kill Klaus, and well, hey, he's dead and gone. And it turns out because her blood is this special, she's actually not just an Earth Guardian, but she's a Principal Guardian, which means she's like really, really rare and really, really important. So they can't really kill her or anything because they need her. Damon. Turns out in order to get Damon and Elena not to kill Damon, they get an agreement with the Guardians, and basically they do a link between, like, they do a bond. I've got such a sore throat today. If Damon kills any human, Elena dies. That's the bond. And like they can always feel each other's emotions and everything. So Damon, and if Damon feeds on anyone as well, feeds on anyone without using his power, like you can like compel them to do stuff. If he does that, Elena gets affected. So it's all like Elena gets affected, Elena gets affected. So Damon has to be a really good person then. Elena drinks from the water that she stole in a couple of books ago for the water fountain, so that she now has eternal life. Like she's going to stay young forever. That's that one. What did I give that one? Oh, I gave that one at 2.5. I must have got bored with that one. I think I got bored with that one. Okay, then we've got book 11. We're nearly done. Book 11, The Salvation, which is called The Unseen. I really like the cover of this one. I really enjoyed the cover of this one. So, we go fast forward 4 years. Turns out Catherine and Damon actually end up travelling with each other. Like, he bumps into her and then they just travel with each other for the next 4 years. But then they start being chased by new vampires. However, these vampires can walk in the sun. Do not get killed by a stake. Do not get killed by a neck break. They don't get killed by anything, it seems. What is going on with these new vampires? Dun dun dun. A guy called Solomon, who is like another older vampire, like Klaus, is trying to get to Elena and kill her. However, and then one of the young vampires managed to kill Catherine, and then Catherine dies. They meet someone called Jack, who is apparently saying he's a hunter, and he helps Elena and Stefan and all those lot to kill Solomon. However, it then turns out that Jack is actually one of these newly made vampires, and he makes all of these new vampires, and they are all made in the lab, and he has made them so that they don't have the same weaknesses as normal magical vampires, if that makes sense. He is in the process of turning Meredith, and it finishes at the end of this of whether or not she's been turned or not, like he says she has, but she doesn't actually know. And it also ends with Jack killing Stefan. So Stefan has been staked, he's dead. Bye bye Stefan. Ooh. This one I think I gave like a 4 out of 5 because it was quite good, it was quite intense. Then this one, book 12, we have The Salvation again, Unspoken. Meredith is a vampire. Dun dun dun. She hates vampires, she's a vampire hunter, she is a hunter in her blood, and now she's been turned into a vampire, and it's one of these newly ones, and they're in a cure from what they were aware of, so yeah. As I've got here, the lab ones are hard to kill, they think it could be impossible. Bonnie and Xander get engaged, he proposes to her, so cute. Damon, it's basically the whole book is about them trying to work out how to kill Jack and the other vampires to get vengeance on Stefan, and then like Meredith tries to help, and then they fail, and then they do, then they don't, and then they fail. Damon and Elena start to work together, and it ends with Damon. Hang on a minute. Yeah, Bonnie and Xander get engaged, and Elena sees Stefan's ghost, and she's like, oh, actually, he like tells her that she can move on and be with Damon. So woohoo! Damon and Elena finally happen. Damon and then Elena go to Paris, I think it was Paris, to kill Jack, and they do. Damon kills Jack. However, that Jack isn't an actual vampire, he's not by magic, he is a lab vampire. So the Guardians class that as killing a human, because Jack's human life never ended. So Elena dies, and Damon's devastated and wants to find a cure, because they love each other. So that's that one. I think this one, the game was about a 4 out of 5. My little pile of books was getting higher and higher. The last book of a series, book 13, The Unmasked. That's a cool one as well. I do like these covers. The Unmasked. So, the Guardians end up making it. Elena like begs and begs, refuses to go into the light. She doesn't want to die. She isn't ready to die. She's just realised that she can love Damon. She wants to be with Damon. She wants to be happy for a bit. So the Guardians make a deal with her. They send her back to the start. We're going all the way back to the beginning of the books. Yeah. So Elaine has to change it. She has to stop all the stuff that happened and change a series of events, because they say that her and Damon killing Mr. Tanner in the first book triggered all the events that led to this book. Basically, they triggered it all, and the reason he killed Mr. Tanner was because he was jealous because Stefan was with Elena. So she thought she needs to be with Damon instead of Stefan. So she keeps avoiding him, because this way at least Stefan gets to live. So she's avoiding Stefan, she's just flirting with Damon, getting off with Damon, and then she realises it's not her love that can help change the events, it's Damon and Stefan, it's for brother love. Brothers need to get together, they need to like bond and reunite and become brothers again. She goes on her own and finds Catherine, and gets Catherine out of the dungeon tomb again, and gets Catherine to help her. They save the day, and then she goes fast forwards back into the future, but all the events have changed obviously. So Bonnie and Xander still manage to meet and are still get married. Stefan's alive, and him and Damon went off when they were in Mystic Falls, so they disappeared and they didn't stay with the friends or anything. Elena didn't get to be with them, either of them. Meredith didn't meet Alaric, but she meets him at Bonnie's wedding, so that must be fate. Matt is engaged, no, Matt is with another girl instead of Jasmine from one of the other books. However, he's happy and he won like the Super Bowl and has a Super Bowl ring. So the only thing that's different really, that Bonnie is still a witch in this one. Meredith doesn't know that she's a hunter, she doesn't have to deal with any of that, she's just a happy law student. Bonnie's life is pretty much the same with Xander. I'm guessing they don't really mention if she knows she's his werewolf or not, but I'm assuming, she would, because, they're engaged. Well, just about to get married. However, it ends with this wedding, and Elena's sad because she's living in Paris away from her friends, and she didn't get to have either of the Salvatore brothers, and it makes her sad. However, while she's at the airport coming home after the wedding, she looks across at the news agent, and then, I want to read it to you. Elena knew the exact moment when he saw her too, and his whole body stiffened in shock. His eyes were wide and his lips were slowly turning up into a smile of amazement, and then she was in motion, moving straight towards him, her high-heeled boots clacking on the tiled floor, her carry-on rattling along behind her on his little wheels. He was coming towards her too, his gaze fixed unwaveringly on her. This is it, Elena realised, stopping stock still in front of him, staring dumbly up into him. This is who I'm meant to be. My destiny caught up with me after all. Hello, Elena! Damon's mouth twisted into his telltale smirk, and Elena knew she was home. Fangirl moment. Elena and Damon got together again. They didn't have all those chain of events where, like, this book is like, all the chain of events have ended and they didn't get to have none of all the stuff that they didn't experience. But he still fell in love with her when she went back in time, and she still fell in love with him, and then obviously he left, and then they got back together, and she can finally be happy with Damon, and Damon can finally be happy because, Damon deserves it, and I'm obsessed with Damon Salvatore. So there you go, that's all my books for this month. I enjoyed reading the whole series. This is the one thing, when you find a series that you really love, it's always good to like go back to it, because you always notice other things, little things about it that you didn't have noticed before. And also it's a good way for like when I'm struggling so much to read other books and I needed to get back into my book mood, so I thought I'd read those and they helped me. However, one thing is, another reason why I haven't read any more books, I finished the last one on like Monday and it's now Saturday. I haven't read any more books because I have to take time to let the characters leave my system. As silly as that sounds, I will be like, I'm so obsessed with certain characters. I do it with normal books as well, not just like vampire books, but I become so obsessed and so connected to the characters. I get so emotional when I finish a book, and I feel like I'm betraying the book and the characters if I go and read another book straight away. So I have to give it time and let the story get away from me. I need to like get it out of my system, and then I'm fine. The worst thing is, this time around, I cried when I finished it because I was so happy that Damon and Elena got together. Emotions are so annoying. But yeah. Also, I noticed that one of these books, I can't remember which one it was, has spelling mistakes in it. I kept reading it and there was like things and I was like, that's not meant to be that. That's got an extra letter in it. That's spelled wrong. So I'm a bit disappointed with that. Obviously it weren't like proofread very well or something, because there's quite a few spelling mistakes in it. But oh well. Anyway. So, next month will be more interesting. It'll be a different range of books. I've got a whole shelf. Shall I show you guys quickly my shelf? This shelf here, there's two, even though it's got pillows on it, it's all my to-do books that I need to read. So my to-read books. Am I back in the camera? Where's the camera place? Ah! So yeah, all those books I need to read, so I've got a lot to talk about, a lot to share with you, and they are completely different. So we've got classics, we've got romance, we've got vampire-y, horror-y ones. We've got a whole range, so this next month's one will be better. Anyway, thank you for watching. Sorry if this video was too long. I'm just trying to see. I think it's like 20 minutes, 15 minutes. I don't know. I can't see. I spoke as quickly as I can because I know my last one was like 30 minutes long and that was way too long. But yeah, thank you for watching. If you've got any books that you suggest, because I am mainly towards like vampire books, I'm obsessed with them, but I do read everything. Literally, tell me a book and I will read it. So if there are books that you've got like a favourite book or something, let me know in the comments below and I will then check it out and review it. And yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I put videos twice a week, Wednesdays and Sundays. And I promise you that's everything now. I hope you have a great morning, afternoon, evening, whatever the time of day is. I hope you have been smiling, because that's the most important thing. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye!